My biggest takeaway from that was the earn versus effect.
Yeah.
Which is really cool.
Yeah.
So the concept is your goal is to affect your income, not earn it.
Yeah.
So what can you do in a day? So we had to just like reverse engineer how much money we want to make.
Yeah.
The only thing I would change, I think, is like when we did that, we did it on revenue. I think we should have done it on profit.
I think it's easier for him because he's like your margins.
Yeah.
It's like no one knows their margins.
Yeah. So if you're going to do this at home, maybe just like the where we play too, like for personal trainers, it's easier to do it on profit than it is if you run a fucking like.
Yeah, if you're selling,
Farmer Dave was a fencing contractor.
Yeah, if you're selling if you're on a business that sells like multiple products, like your margins are different on every single one. So it's probably going to be fucking hard to.
Yeah, true. I guess in 6 months we'll be like, no, fuck that.
Just do revenue.
Revenue up, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically your revenue divided by how many hours you wanted to work, divided by the weeks in a year, and that would give you a result of what your hourly should be.
Yeah.
And then how can you affect, your hour effective in producing that in your ecosystem?
Yeah. Well, most of the time it was a large amount of money. So the lesson was that you can't make it yourself.
Yeah.
Like you can't make that on your own.
Correct.
So it was you have to affect it. And to affect it means that you have to draw that across multiple people, multiple places.
So to make it relatable for a personal trainer, we're always talking like obviously you need to get those reps on the board and you've got to build that client base, etc. But if you want to affect your weekly income or your yearly income, you probably can't affect it that much more inside a session.
Yeah.
You have to do something else to bring up the value of the session. So it's resources, it's technology, it's whatever else it's events, it's community, it's demand, it's marketing, it's branding, it's all of that stuff that you do to then drive the demand up. The demand goes up, the price goes up, and retention goes up because you're good at what you do. You've affected your ability to make more money for that window of time that you're with someone.
Yeah.
So when you're sitting down, you're like, I need to do social media, and you can't be fucked. It's like, how are you affecting that bottom line? Because you're not affecting it when you're doing face-to-face because you can't make the money you want to make just in the face-to-face environment.
Yeah.
If you're just showing up and doing that, you're capped forever.
Yeah, agreed.
And then obviously like that's naturally going to turn into probably online, naturally going to turn into maybe it's education, maybe it's a team, maybe it's a facility, maybe it's products, like whatever. Yeah. Or you do us and all of them.
Yeah.
Whatever it's going to be that you're going to start moving in towards, it's like, how do I affect that hourly more effectively? So online, obviously, a higher driven client, typically higher demand means higher price point. Generally, if you've got it set up well, then the hourly input is less for the same income as well.
Yeah.
So that's how you want to sort of look at that. So that was cool. And I actually look at mine as a day, not an hour. So it's like, did I affect that much revenue in our business today? And that's like my tick or cross for the day now. Yeah. Which is cool.
Yeah. Well, last week we affected a lot of hours.
Yeah.
But that was the cool part too. It was like, you can do things now that will affect the hours in like 3 months' time, 6 months' time. Yeah. And because he was like, you can make $80,000 in an hour.
Correct.
So he's like, that's fucking 3 months done,
Yeah.
So it was cool to see. It was cool to think that way.
Yeah.
And then.
Yeah. Well, probably. Yeah.
That wasn't the pits and piles day, right?
That was scale day. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So the money day, the revenue streams was good. So it was like, here's all the ways that you. Was it?
Yeah.
I thought it was
scale day was the best day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, money was a lot more of like your beliefs and stuff around money.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I can't remember. Like, they're both kind of similar, right?
Yeah, even that like affecting your hourly thing went for like an hour and a half. We're all standing up.
Yeah,
because it was. You
had
to like really believe that you were.
Yeah, I understand.
Worth it and all that kind of stuff. Which, if 100% agree, like there was some fucking. I thought I wrote down a big number, and there was 10x of my number.
Money was the value day, so it was like, how can you make value?
Yeah.
So it was So it was like, what do you charge? What's your product?
Yeah.
What do you charge? And then it was like,
make it worth 10x.
Yeah. So the first activity was like 4x, I think, and then it was 10. Then it was 10 or whatever.
Yeah,
and
which
our products were already kind of worth that.
when you design, because we did that with Dent.
Correct.
So when you design your
We
business,
did
I
it
think,
with
no, it was Kerwin.
No, Hamozi. We did it with
Yeah, but I did the 10x with Kerwin. So we've
Well, there you go.
always had that. That's like
well, there you go.
fucking 5 years ago.
Yeah.
We've always had the 10x return on anything you do with us.
Yeah.
That's why the seminars are priced the way they are and all that kind of shit. It's like, will you do 10x on what you pay us for this?
Yeah.
Stand out to price like that, everything is.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, and now like the last couple of ones we've done, I've put as an extra 0 on it. It's particularly the intensive. I
Yeah.
feel like that was 100x.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you could make 50 grand off that so easy.
100%. Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, we basically just sat down and this
It's like,
again.
where's the value?
How do you affect your hour? It's like make your shit better.
Yeah.
How do you make what you're giving people worth 10 times what you're charging it?
Yeah.
Because then you can charge more.
Yeah.
And yeah, when you've already done that, and then you look at it and say, well, that's worth like $5 grand for standout. Now I need to make it worth 50. It's like,
Yeah.
but I already have the things.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was, it was wild to like even go even deeper, which probably works out for anyone who's going to work with us in the future because the price
value's
is going to
there.
be fucking rad.
Yes. Yeah. That was good. But it still gave you, like, even though we'd already done it, it still gave you more ideas to add value.
Yeah.
Like, there's still more.
Yeah.
But there's obviously different, they call them quadrants of like how you add value.
Mhm.
So you can step things up. We can step things up exponentially from a value perspective, but it probably means we'd have to decide like, well, the price has to go up for that value to multiply. So you've got to invest a little bit. Like say, I don't know, every dollar you invest for this new value that's going to get accrued into the service, like you'll probably get a 4 times, 5 times on that particular, value quadrant. But
I think one of we've always lent into high effort, high value because it's like if we do the hard thing, it's really valuable for the client.
Yeah.
I think the one that stood out to me the most was the low effort, high value.
Yeah, I tried to make sure that everything we did was just stacked in there.
Yeah, and we suck at it.
Maybe for that side of the business we do.
Yeah. So it's just like little stuff like, and this is for trainers as well, like sending birthday cards and thank yous. And like we've done Christmas cards and stuff every now and then. And then sometimes we forget. And just like little touches like that.
100%.
I remember Nexus one day just like, we're like, what's your clothing size? And they just had extra shirts and they just sent it out. And I was like, oh, this is, it was obviously the shirt that didn't sell. Like wasn't there.
But it's still
number one seller. But I was like, oh,
it's still a valuable thing.
Yeah. So it's just those little things that I think.
Yeah, I understand. So they sit right at the start of the.
But they make you feel warm and
100%,
like appreciated and all that kind of stuff. And because we are so logic driven and focused, it's like we forget that shit sometimes.
Yeah, agreed.
Even just like certs for standout. Like here's a certificate to say you did it. Yeah, I mean, like prescript run, like you get a prescript level 1 framed thing. It's like that means fucking nothing. Like you put it in your profile, and your client's like, I don't know what that is, but cool.
Yeah, it's not internationally.
But as a consumer, it's like, hey, I've got this, and it becomes a bit of a thing. So yeah, I think for trainers thinking about that stuff, like knowing if you're like gym floor trainer right now, it's like knowing the kids' names and when their birthday is and remembering all that kind of shit. Doing something for birthdays and all that kind of stuff, I think is important. I used to try and put like birthdays through my group all the time. Yeah. And then I got like I think I missed one or something.
And then you just can't.
And I was like, fuck, if I missed one.
You're playing favourites.
Yeah, and I was like super stressed about it. So that's my anxiety loop. So that was money day.
It was.